Hey everyone, Pastor Jason here. Welcome back to Alive Again Alliance's Bible in a Year. Today we're taking a journey through some of Jesus' most practical, heart-shaping teachings found in Matthew chapter 6 and 7 and Luke chapter 6. These passages are all about what it really looks like to follow Jesus, not just with our lips, but with our lives. Jesus begins in Matthew 6, 5 through 15, talking about prayer. I love that he doesn't say, if you pray. He says, when you pray. He tells us not to pray to impress people. You ever hear someone suddenly switch into holy mode when they pray? They're talking normal one moment, and then suddenly they're speaking in the King James English. Jesus says, don't do that. Pray honestly. Pray humbly. Pray like you're talking to your Father. That's why he gives us the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6, 19 through 13, not as a script to recite, but as a model for us to follow. After all, the disciples ask him, Lord, teach us how to pray. Then Jesus takes us right into worry in Matthew 6, 19 through 34. He knows us, our anxious hearts, our stress about money, jobs, tomorrow, the unknown. But in Matthew 6:33, he gives us the cure. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. In other words, put God first, and everything else will fall into place. Worry fades when trust grows. Next, we get to one of the most misunderstood verses in the Bible, judge not. In Matthew 7, 1 through 6. People quote that like it's the only verse they know. But Jesus isn't saying we should never make judgments. He's saying don't judge hypocritically. It's hard to help someone with a speck in their eye when you've got a 2x4 sticking out of yours. Luke echoes this in Luke 6, 34 through 42, reminding us to deal with our own hearts first so we can lovingly and accurately help others. Then Jesus invites us to pray with persistence in Matthew 7, 7 through 11. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened. God isn't irritated by your prayers. He's not rolling his eyes saying, seriously, again? He's a good father. Luke's version in Luke 11, 9 through 13 emphasizes that if we ask him for what is good, he doesn't hand us something harmful. Even when God delays, his heart is always good. Then Jesus turns to fruit, spiritual fruit. In Matthew 7, 13 through 20 and Luke 6, 43 through 45, he says, you know a tree by its fruit. Good tree, good fruit. Bad tree, bad fruit. It's that simple. Jesus ties our words to our hearts. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Luke 6:45. If bitterness, anger, and gossip are coming out of your mouth, that reveals what's going on beneath the surface. Healthy root, healthy fruit. But Jesus saves his most challenging words for the end. In Matthew 7, 21 through 23, he says, not everyone who calls him Lord actually knows him. Some people talk the talk but don't walk the walk. That leads into the famous parable of the two builders in both Matthew 7, 24 through 29 and Luke 6, 46 through 49. One builds on rock, the other on sand. Both houses look fine in the sunshine, but when the storm comes, and the storm will come, the house built on the rock stands. Jesus says the difference is simple. The person who hears his words and does them is the one building on the rock. So what Jesus is showing us through all of these passages, it's the call to authentic discipleship. Pray from the heart. Trust God above your worries. Judge yourself before you judge others. Ask boldly. Bear good fruit. Build your life on obedience. That's real faith for real life. So let me ask you a question. According to Matthew 7 and Luke 6, what are you building your life on? Rock or sand? Because the storms will test it. But if your life is founded on Jesus, the rock that never moves, you will stand firm. Well, thanks for listening. If this encouraged you, pass it along to someone who needs a reminder. And as always, keep walking with Jesus. God bless you.